I mean, the question you asked is very important. Should judges be punished when they get wrong?
Yeah.
And I think Prof has answered you very well. But there are certain, mistakes, and it happens very often. You get a judgment from a court or a high court judge that says, the capital city of Kenya is Dar es Salaam. It's Dar es Salaam. When you complain, you'll be told, no, the judge made an honest mistake. He thought it was... There are those kinds of things, and they happen very often, A deliberate distortion of the law and the facts influenced by other facts. Those kind of things I think the JSC should punish, because it's so obvious that when you say the capital city of Kenya is Dar es Salaam, I mean, you must have been induced to make such huge mistake, yes.
Yeah.
And it happens so often. But there's those other mistakes, error of law or, innocent, when you get the facts wrong, that one is. But I think Prof again raised a very valid point on, how do you recruit judges? I mean, JSC sometimes does excellent jobs. Sometimes they do very poor jobs. But nowadays, I have been there. The pool of lawyers or scholars you can recruit is getting smaller and smaller, because very few Kenyans are nowadays interested to become judges.
I wanted to ask you this because, and pick your experience, because you've sat in, JSC and, you've recruited judges, the Chief Justice, in fact. The thing is, up to the point that an appearance of, transparency, people are coming and they're being asked questions. So the first problem is the questions are not standardized. You ask different candidates different questions, and someone, from the panelist ask another different questions. So if you're following from the public perspective, what are we supposed exactly to be following? And secondly, the results are not made public. Yes, what is the reason behind that?
I think I agree with you. It's long overdue, During our time, and I was there for 3 years, and we recruited, I think, some of the best judges, especially in the High Court and the Court of Appeal. I don't remember giving any candidate, and I have interviewed excellent candidates, I don't remember giving a candidate 80%, because I don't think a candidate can score 80%, especially if you are recruiting someone for Chief Justice or the Supreme Court. Nowadays, I'm told they give them 99%. I mean, it's only in class 1 Kenya you can score.
You can get 99.
But that is rigging, That is a predetermined rigging. Because when you have 6 guys or 5 guys who give 99%, and then they decide to give the other candidates who are competing with candidate X 40%, I mean, that's a rigged process. It's not credible. During our time, it could never happen. I mean, that was a scandal. I remember a time that we were given some, like 5 of us could give the same candidate same grade, 60%, 65, 57. I mean, people were objective, but that era is long gone, because now the government has a lot of interest in JSC. I mean, you have seen the way they shuffle, they remove some members, they bring some members, they influence even how lawyers will elect their members. So, I mean, it's not... there's a lot of politics in the JSC itself.
Yeah, I want to go to the politics when we come from the other side of the break, because we are just like, at the center of politics going to 2022. But still on this question of the transparency and the appearance of transparency with the JSC, Professor Makabutu has been asking for his results. I think he's almost 5 years down the line. The person who won has retired, since gone retired. And it's painful just to find, a process that it's supposed to be transparent, but we can't get to know the results. So what's the whole point of these interviews being public in the first place?
It is a veneer of transparency. I don't think the intention is really to be accountable. Because if it were, scores are not enough.
Yeah.
Because you can pick scores from the air, but you must give reasons behind the scores. And you must be able to tell us that, look, we interviewed 10 candidates. Here is how each compares against the other. And this is why we think candidate X is the best for the job. Mm-hmm. That is credible. That is intelligible.
There's this other thing, and you've mentioned, of how the pool for candidates has reduced, integrity and credible people to become judges.
But many candidates don't apply because they know the interview process has been rigged and it's not credible. And that's why many qualified candidates don't want to subject themselves to that process, because they know someone who has influence has predetermined that issue. But I agree with you again. I mean, we are, I mean, the Kenyan JSC is not the only JSC that interviews candidates. I mean, the South African, most JSCs interview. But, you know, you have to prepare. You have to, I mean, the questions you ask the candidates. For example, for Chief Justice, I was telling guys that if I was to interview Chief Justice now, I mean, if I go back to the JSC, it will take days to finish a candidate. Yeah. Because, I mean, that office is so important. The insight I have is so different. My expectation is so high now and so different that a candidate for Chief Justice, oh my, you will have a lot to ask him and a lot of guarantees for him to sign with the JSC before you give him that job.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you can't interview as a Chief Justice for 6 hours or 3 hours. It doesn't make sense. Yes.
Somebody is asking, because Grand Mullah knows what he's talking about and you know the problem, why are you not applying for the job of Chief Justice and clean up the
Actually
business?
thought you were applying.
No,
It's an honest question.
no,
With all due respect.
I think I can only